hate to break it to you, but a lot of these beauty trends are really just marketing ploys to get consumers to buy more things. You know what I'm saying? Hey everyone, it's Jaclyn. So today I wanted to walk you guys through 5 different beauty trends that I think you don't need to do. You know, we are now in the time where there are a million products, everyone's telling you to use a million different primers for your lids, eyebrows, mascara, all these things, and we are just being sold to so many different products. And you know, that's just the world we live in. Consumerism is at an all-time high. And you know, I get it. I see both sides of it. I work in this industry. I am also just a huge makeup and skincare lover, so there's so much fun in just experimenting with different products and trying out new things and new trends. But I think the reality is we don't need all of these products. We don't need to be using a million different things. And I just kind of wanted to break through the clutter of that space and really break down what I think is not essential to your beauty or skincare routine. I feel like it almost goes without saying, but makeup is so much fun. It's an art, it's self-expression. In skincare, I'm a huge skincare junkie. I love having a million different things. But this video is more towards the person that maybe is new to the makeup space and doesn't know if they need to buy all these amazing things, and they're just kind of a bit confused and they need help navigating that. Obviously, if I talk about a trend that you do and you're loving, you live your best life, you keep doing it. This is more for the confused consumer, which I feel like is a lot of us. And I'm super excited to share that I'm working with NEUTROGENA on this video. They're really aligned with my personal philosophy of product efficacy versus just using a million different products. So we really wanted to work together and share with you guys more of a minimalistic approach to beauty and skincare and really show you guys that you don't need a million things to get the job done. Okay, diving into trend number 1. This is a beauty trend, and I feel like, you know, we were really at the rise of this about a year ago, and that is primers and setting sprays. Now, I feel like I have to preface and defend myself. Of course, I have used primers before. I do like setting sprays, but I think, you know, pushing the idea that a makeup look can't be complete without either or both of those products is just not true. I mean, I do love a primer, and I have them, so I use them. If I was starting my makeup kit from scratch, that's not necessarily the first product that I would invest in. That would be one of the last products that I think you need to get. I really believe, and especially when it comes to primers, that your skincare routine should be addressing your skin's needs versus a primer. So in turn, if you have a healthy and consistent skincare routine, I don't think you really necessarily need a primer. You can definitely skip out on it. I really only use a makeup primer if I have a very specific concern to address. So say for example, I'm, you know, doing a video shoot in the morning and I need to run to a different location, go to an event, and then at nighttime I need to go, you know, host something on camera again. And I need my makeup to look very, you know, long wearing and not move, and I'm not gonna have time for touch-ups throughout the day, then that's when I'm gonna go in with, say, like an oil-free primer or something that's a bit pore refining to kind of help my makeup adhere a bit better. But really on a day-to-day basis, if you have a healthy skincare routine, I think you can skip out on a primer. Now in that same category of face primers, you know, there's eyelid primers, there's brow primers, there's mascara primers, there's lip primers. There's literally a primer for every single part on your body, which is kind of hilarious. And again, I love the act of self-indulgence. I've tried them all out. I have a bunch of weird primers in my makeup collection, but do I think you need one on the everyday, you know, daily routine? No, they're definitely worth skipping out on if you are balling on a budget or if you are trying to minimize your makeup collection. You don't necessarily need a primer for everything. Now in that same category, I kind of lumped in setting sprays as well, just because setting sprays really feel like a modern makeup trend. You know, you talk to makeup artists, like OG makeup artists from back in the day, or really, you know, current celebrity makeup artists that I've had the privilege to talk to. They don't really use a bunch of these types of products. And setting sprays, I feel like really got popularized on Instagram. People will just like douse their face in them. And well, one, you do this amazing makeup look and then you just like saturate your face with so much like water in product that I just have a really hard time believing that that doesn't kind of break down and start to move your makeup. And you know, I've used like long wearing, long lasting setting sprays before, and they do definitely have a place. But on the daily, I don't think you need to be, you know, saturating your face in a setting spray. I actually like to use setting sprays really more if I've made a mistake in my makeup. So say if I've used like way too much powder, my face is starting to look really dry. So I just use a setting spray to kind of balance it out and like undo my mistake. But yeah, on the daily, I could definitely live without a setting spray, and I don't think you need to be going to buy, you know, 20 different setting sprays. If you have one, that'll definitely do the job. If you have none, that's okay. You're not really missing out, you know? Okay, the next beauty trend that I think you don't need to necessarily follow is more of a skincare trend, and this is using a 10-step skincare routine. And now I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes because I talk about skincare all the time. I am truly a huge skincare lover. I feel like that was like my first passion even before makeup. But really, especially over the past year, and I've gone through, all the skin conditions, the acne, the sensitive skin, I've had it all. And what I have found to be the most effective and really the most beneficial to my life is using a more simple and streamlined skincare routine. Now, I am someone that is very conscious of my skin's needs, and I live here in Canada, I travel a lot, so my skin is kind of dealing with a bunch of different conditions and weather and environments and all that stuff. So of course, in the wintertime, I'm gonna maybe sub out some products or use something that's a bit more hydrating and protective on the skin. Whereas in the summer, I might use something a bit more oil controlling. And of course, I'm always adjusting my routine to fit my needs. But I think regardless of what your skin types are and what your needs are, I don't think you need to be using like 20 plus products. And again, this goes back into the idea of, marketing, especially traditionally towards females, and how, women are told we need an eye cream, an elbow cream, a chin cream, all these different things. And then you see traditional product marketing towards men, and it's like, oh, here's this 8-in-1 product. You can use it as shampoo, as a face cleanser, and as your toothpaste. And you're like, what? Like, we're both human. We both have skin. Like, our needs are the same, We all need to just wash our skin and keep it moisturized. That's why I was super excited when NEUTROGENA reached out to me, because they really believe in simple skincare and really just focusing on a minimalistic approach and sharing with you guys how that can be just as effective as your 20-step routine. And then also you're saving time and you're saving money, so it's really a double win. So for me, one step of my skincare routine is always just removing my makeup and removing it well. And you guys know I like to wear a full face of glam. I don't necessarily wear a full glam every day, but on those days where I'm wearing makeup, it is a must that I remove it well and completely. I've been such a huge fan of the NEUTROGENA oil-free eye makeup remover. This is really effective, but it's very gentle, so that way you're not like tugging at your eyes as well. Now this one's great. I used to be someone, I still am someone that wears waterproof mascara every single time that I put on mascara. And I've been doing that ever since I was like in high school, and mascara was the only product that I used. So finding an eye makeup remover that takes it off completely and doesn't leave any stinging or burning, that's really important to me, so I'm glad that this one doesn't do that. Now obviously, beyond just an eye makeup remover, if you are wearing a full face of foundation, you are going to want to remove all of that as well. I've been a huge fan of cleansing oils and cleansing balms for that purpose, to really just break down and dissolve the makeup, and then I like to go in with the cleanser afterwards. And now as for my daily cleanser, I like something that's very gentle and non-fussy and doesn't have, any texture or any beads to it. I like something that's very smooth and really simple for my skin. So lately I've been using the NEUTROGENA Ultra Gentle Daily Cleanser. What I really like about this cleanser is that it is dermatologist developed, so it's really great if you do have sensitive skin, which I definitely fall into that category. And it's really just effective at removing any leftover oil, dirt, or leftover makeup residue on your skin. So it just leaves you feeling really clean, but without feeling stripped. So definitely great for a daily cleanser. I've been loving that one. And then of course, an essential part of any skincare routine is a moisturizer. Lately I've been using the NEUTROGENA Moisture Oil-Free Sensitive Skin Moisturizer, and this one's great. Again, if you have sensitive skin, what I really like about this moisturizer is that it is lightweight. It is a water-based moisturizer, so it's not going to clog your pores. It doesn't feel greasy, none of that. You can use this moisturizer both in the daytime and at night. You don't need a separate moisturizer for each. And again, since there are no drying alcohols inside or any fragrance or dyes or any of that bad stuff, it's going to be great for sensitive skin, and it, again, is super gentle. So that's pretty simple. You don't need a million products, and there really is something to be said for a consistent but effective skincare routine. Okay, the next beauty trend that you don't need to do, and this one I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of backlash on, but let me know your opinions in the comment. I always love a good debate. And this is eyelash extensions. Now I know a bunch of people are freaking out because they're wearing eyelash extensions and they swear by them and they think they look like a naked mole rat without them. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. I used to do eyelash extensions, and I think they definitely, again, have a place in the beauty space. And I think if you're someone that's very much so, rushing on the go, you don't like to spend a lot of time doing your makeup, you kind of, will roll out of bed and you're like, okay, I'm glam, I'm good to go, I don't need to do anything. Then yes, of course, in that situation, I think, they're doing their job. They're saving you time. You don't need to worry about fussing with your makeup or your face, and you just feel a bit more glam and a little more, I don't know, like put together. Whenever I would have eyelash extensions, whoa, there is crazy construction going on outside. I'm sorry if you guys are hearing this. Anyways, where was I? Eyelash extensions definitely make you feel like, I don't know, I just felt a lot more feminine with them. So I totally get the feeling. And then when you take them off, when you've had them for a while, you're like, I look crazy. Like, you look so, you're not used to seeing yourself without like a thick layer of like voluminous lashes. So I totally get it. But the reason that I included this on this list is that I don't think you necessarily need to follow that trend, especially if you are a huge makeup junkie and a huge makeup wearer. And if you're someone that's doing a full glam every single day, I actually think that eyelash extensions hinder your full makeup's potential, if that makes any sense. And what I mean by that is, I think eyelash extensions are, you have to be very delicate with them. You can't really use a lot of oils on them. You can't really put mascara or, really put a lot of product around there. Otherwise, you're damaging these expensive, gorgeous lashes that you paid for. But if you are wearing a full face of glam every single day, product gets accumulated in the lashes. And I always find if someone's wearing a full face of makeup and they close their eyes or their eyes are looking down, you can really see like powders and just like layers of makeup that haven't been properly, removed, because you can't really remove it well with eyelash extensions. And I also always found when I had eyelash extensions on and I was doing full glam, I always felt like my eyelashes still needed a bit of mascara or something to kind of, make it look cohesive, because you still have your natural, mine are a bit blonder, a bit lighter eyelashes sitting there with darker eyelashes on top. So I felt like you could kind of see the discrepancy, and I always just wanted to put mascara on it. And yes, I know you can buy, eyelash extensions, safe mascara, but the reality is that those make your eyelash extensions get all wonky, and it's just really not the move. So I definitely suggest, if you are someone that likes to wear full makeup every day anyways, and you're still gonna go through the effort of doing your eye makeup and eyeshadow and all of that, I would just recommend doing individual eyelashes, like falsies, or like a strip lash that you can just take off at the end of the day. I've always felt this way as a makeup artist when I'm working on people with eyelash extensions, when I have them on myself. I don't want them there. I'd rather, glue on my individual lashes that come off at the end of the day. They are literally building an entire skyrise right next door, and it sounds like the world is shaking. We're just gonna have to keep rolling. This is YouTube. Okay, moving on. The next beauty trend that I think you don't need to follow is baking. Now, baking is, again, all over the world of Instagram, and everyone's like layering all this powder on and doing all this like carving and all this stuff. And again, there's a time and place for it. Is the time and place in your everyday beauty routine? Probably not. The reality is, unless you're someone with very oily skin, getting away with that much powder on a daily, regular makeup look, it's kind of hard to do because that's a lot of powder. The main technique of baking your makeup, which baking, if you don't know, is when you apply a bunch of powder, whether it's under your eyes or you kind of carve out your cheekbone with a bunch of powder. Basically, the premise is that you're kind of highlighting those areas and carving it out and defining the shape a bit more. And if you are, say, doing an eyeshadow look, it can kind of act as like a catcher for your shadow fallout, and you can kind of sweep it away after. But really, these were techniques that I even learned back in makeup school when I was doing like theater stage makeup, or they're techniques coming from, the drag community. And they're amazing makeup techniques, but for those reasons. And they look great when they're on stage, when they're lit really well, when it's, shot from far away, or if someone's on camera. And they're not necessarily techniques that are really applicable to the everyday makeup wearer. And if you're someone that has, normal to dry skin, it's not gonna look good in real life. Again, it will look great in like a situation like this where I have studio lights and a camera, or if I'm on set, or if I'm on stage. But if you see me in real life and I've done a bunch of baking, my skin's gonna look leathery and creasy, and it's not gonna look good close up. That's the reality of baking. So if you thought that baking was a thing that's gonna take your makeup to the next level, or something that you need to add into your routine, really analyze what the purpose of it. And if you're just, wearing makeup on an everyday basis, going to work, going to school, you probably could skip out on baking. Okay, now the final beauty trend that I think you don't need to do is carving out your eyebrows. This is really something that I've never understood or personally enjoyed the technique of. And I think it's really interesting how a lot of beauty gurus angle this as something that's so essential to your routine, or they must start their makeup by doing it. And I don't know, I guess I'm of the mindset, if it works for you, it works for you. But I just really don't believe that this is the only way to do your eyebrows. So basically the common technique is that you do your eyebrows first, and you have nothing on your skin. You start with doing your eyebrows. And this is more for like the Instagram eyebrow trend, which fortunately I feel like is kind of cycling out. I feel like we're way more into more of a natural, bushy, feathered eyebrow. But basically you would fill in and like create the shape of your eyebrow, and then you would go in with the concealer, say 3 shades lighter than your natural skin tone, and then really carve out the eyebrow, and that'll really just like define and create the shape and make it super sharp and clean and just like the perfect eyebrow, which in theory I guess sounds good. It can help you kind of clean up the mistakes if you are, more of a beginner. And then the very light concealer shade that you're using is supposed to, in theory, highlight the brow bone and really just highlight the eyebrow shape, I guess. I don't really know, because people use it on the top of their eyebrow as well, and that's never really made sense to me from like a structural, proportionate face perspective, if that makes any sense. Now, I think really what took this trend to such a level of popularity was, again, Instagram, but really seeing the eyebrow in a frame about this big, because, the eyebrow, it does look good when you are looking at it from a picture that's shot like this, and you see this like perfectly snatched eyebrow. It does look nice, it looks perfect. But when you kind of pull back and see the whole face, the technique appears very harsh, and it's very contrasting. It doesn't really flow with the rest of your face. So unless you are specifically just shooting eye makeup looks and you just want to have this eyebrow to be super structured from like a full face perspective, or if you are just say like the everyday makeup wearer, I don't think it's the most flattering or proportionate way to do your eyebrows. But again, the beauty of eyebrows is that most of the trends come in and out, but the idea of doing the brows first and carving them out, I don't know, I guess it's more of like a paint by numbers approach, and then you can kind of, you know, make maybe a messier eyebrow and then clean it up with this thick concealer. But to me, it's just never really made sense to me. And then using that heavy of a product on like such a delicate area of your eye, it always just ends up kind of weighing down the makeup look. So that's something that I've never really, you know, gotten into, and I don't think it's essential. Even if you are doing a full face of makeup, I don't think you need to carve out your eyebrows. Okay, so those are all of my thoughts on the skincare, makeup, beauty trends that you don't need to necessarily do. Now, of course, the fun of makeup is that, you know, it all comes off at the end of the day. With skincare, it's not hurting anyone else. You do what works for you. But really, I wanted to make this video to kind of speak to the people that maybe don't know how to navigate all this stuff, and they're like, I'm so confused. And it's like, you know what? If you don't got the time for this, if you don't have the money for this, you don't necessarily need to do all these things. But I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about this. Let me know if you agree or disagree down below in the comments. I'm super excited to have a productive conversation, and maybe, you know, let me know what other trends you don't need to do. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Thanks guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you really soon. Bye!